Before we introduce our guests, we do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, America's Smart Homes and Businesses. Today, we have an apartment complex operator, Stephen Daaling, out of Pearland, Texas. Stephen, thank you for joining us today.
I'm glad for you to have me.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so our listeners get to know you a little bit, could you share your background in the multifamily space and kind of the size of complex and location and that sort of thing?
Well, I'm currently a service manager over a 358 unit property. It's relatively new. They just built it in 2024. And so it'll probably be about a year and a couple of months. Um, uh, And prior, I've been with the company overall for about uh, I think about 12 years. I've been with the company. Prior to that, I've been in the business overall for about 40 years. So
Wow.
I started out when I was in my 20s, probably 20, 25, 24. That's when I got my first gig. I actually been a in maintenance over 40 years, starting out as a porter. And then worked my way up to a make ready, and then to assistant, and then to obviously a manager. So and over actually um, four states. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, and then I migrated to New Jersey, and I was there for a little bit. And then from there, I went to North Carolina, and then from North Carolina, now I'm currently in Texas.
Very good, very good. And curious, as an operator, as a service manager at the complex, do you get involved much on the financial side, or is it purely, keeping things operational and running?
Well, actually, I mainly over the years have mainly worked on the operating side. But just recently, they have escalated my responsibility. So I will be getting more involved in the financial as well, in the budgeting. So I'll be participating. I am participating. But so that is not the norm, but they just, I think this past year, just escalated that new responsibility to me. So I'll be working in conjunction, as always, with the property managers. You have the community manager, and then you have the service manager. So we'll be working. She pretty much will spearhead the budget, obviously, but I'll be more involved as opposed to just the operation side.
Got it. And our listeners, some of them are operators, some of them are owners or investors in apartment complexes. What would you say are the maybe the top three service related issues you run into that affect clients the most?
Air conditioner is, top on the list. Then you have the appliances, obviously the refrigerator, the stoves, and then you have the washer and dryer. Um, and then like then you have your basic plumbing, which is, oh, my toilet is clogged, or my garbage disposal is jammed up. So those are pretty much the air conditioning, appliances, and plumbing. Those are kind of like top. You do have your uh, irregulars, where you have a flood or something like that. But those are the basic things that the toilet gets flushed every day, things like that.
Got it. And do you have your own crew that maintains the HVAC and everything else, or do you typically use contractors for that type of work?
No, we do that pretty much in-house. Right now, with this brand new property, we are still under warranty. So we are coordinated with vendors at the moment. But once that warranty is up, which will be soon, we will start kicking in and servicing the air conditioners in-house.
Got it. Got it. And even if you have an in-house crew, do you ever need additional help from other contractors, or is it
Oh,
strictly?
absolutely. You do have make ready for turnovers, the apartment people move in, people move out, and you're coordinating with painters 'cause we don't paint in house. So and you coordinate with the cleaners, with the make our the make ready department, things like that. So yes, vendor coordination is definitely a part of the process.
Got it. Got it. And what's the culture like? Do you typically see in the complexes? Is it kind of a tight-knit community with other, apartment complex supervisors and managers and operators, or is it more, uh, some industries are more connected than others? How would you describe the multifamily space?
Well, over the states, you have different companies, and I've worked with the private companies, just singly owned by the family. Then you have another the step up where you have a little bit of a office building and then you have where I'm at now, where it's like a corporation where they have like 60 properties over 6 states, and so depending on which where you're at, you will have a different experience. The company that I'm working for now, they try to keep everybody knitted together. Like once a year, they have a type of Oscars or the Emmys where they award the top performers. And then they also have, Workers' Appreciation Week, and they have Family Day, and so they try to keep a family culture, but it's still a challenge because the bigger the company, the more challenge is to keep everybody together. So it's usually, this is my property and really I kind of autonomous if I may put it that way.
Yeah.
But they do try to blend this all together, from time to time.
It seems like with the bigger complexes versus, let's say, a family-owned complex, that it may be a little bit more corporate. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. When you have a family, mom and pop, they have a tendency, it's a little bit more informal. But when you get into a big corporation, then the budget, the standard there's a standard operating procedure for everything that you do. They You have to be a part of that, like fair housing. How do you interact with the residents? Be fair. How do you respond to an emergency call? They have an SOP for everything. Where maybe a smaller company still has their standards, but is not as meticulous as the big ones. Or that's at least the one I'm working with.
Makes sense. And for your continuous education and growth and service and complexes and operations, where do you go for your training typically? Or is there a certain professional organization you look at?
As far as education is concerned, the company I work for, they try to provide education. They have their own online courses. If you want to get into plumbing, electrical, air conditioning, they have courses online where you can pursue. And then they also provide educational stipends. Maybe you want to go to school. Well, actually, they will give you a stipend to help you to go to school outside the company. So they try to do a combination of both. So it's there for the taking. You just got to take advantage. Me personally, I kind of do my own education where I read my books. I kind of set my own agenda, so it's kind of a personal thing. But the actual company, they provide assistance if you want to.
Well, I've seen organizations like the Houston Apartment Association or Texas Apartment Association. Um, are those groups, I mean, are there a lot of operators in those groups, or are those more like salespeople at those types of organizations and stuff?
No, I'm not really involved too much with the Houston Apartment Association, but I used to be. When I was in North Carolina, I actually got my CAMT course, a Certified Apartment Maintenance Technician certificate, and I got it from the North Carolina Apartment Association. So I was more involved over there. Here, my community manager. She actually is more involved with the Houston Apartment Association. And there they also provide, obviously, all the education that you want and CPO license and so forth, so on. So yes, I'm not, me personally, no, but whoever is interested, that is available for them as well.
Very good. Very okay. So it sounds like those are pretty good organizations to be a part of in general.
It's a very good, organization. Very high standard. They just a couple of years ago started getting involved in building their own property. So this is one of the first property that was built from the ground up. They were at first, they started out, I think in 2010. I'm not too sure, absolutely sure. They started out, and no, I think they're about 23 years old. And so they started out buying, acquiring, and now they've gotten so big, now they're investing in building these properties from the ground up. And I'm in one of the, first properties that they're doing that for. Now they're just building. So they're really growing exponentially.
and yeah, and the complex you're a part of, is that a like a publicly traded company or a private equity backed company or
No, no, it is owned by the company. It's owned. This is owned by the company that I work for. So they're building it from the ground up and they're owning
okay. And the company you work for, is that like a publicly traded company or is that a private equity
it.
funded
Yes,
company?
yes, private equity. They're
Oh,
not. It's not public. It's not that big. I think. I don't know exactly, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. But no, not this one. They're trying. Pretty much their own boss.
got it. Got it. Okay, I know we're running short on time here. Before we close out, what's the biggest lesson, over your career working for, working at complexes? What would you say is the biggest lesson learned that you've gained that's kind of carried you through the past decade or so that you're just so glad you learned?
One of the things that recently I couldn't nail down one thing, but what I can do is say that I've had a tremendous career. I've been in the career. I've had this career for almost 40 years, and I have so many stories that I could share. But what I did is that I actually wrote a book about my career, and it's called. I named it "Fix It: The Memoirs of a Maintenance Man."
Huh.
And I'm in the process of it now being published, and so in a couple of weeks I should get my proof, and so I'm excited about that. And in there I share like about 65 stories of things I've gone through. So I'm just excited to have that type of career. Now the next thing is that my agenda is to pass it along to the next generation. And before it was just learn, fix, skill, hard skills. Now I'm at a stage of focus on soft skills and train the next generation.
Love it. Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, so forward thinking, and yeah, that's great. Okay, well, I know we're out of time. Before we close out, any last thoughts before we close out?
No, thank you. I'm excited that this is actually my first podcast.
Well, yeah,
So this is new to me, but what is your company about? So I could, know more and look out for you guys more.
yeah, absolutely. We're involved in a few different industries, focused on help investors, but also operators, right? And I feel like the combination of those two things, people can do some really big things in the world when you have the right operators and the right backing. You can do some amazing things. So, and multifamily is a passion of ours, so that we're focused on that. But I'll be getting your book, and our listeners now they have a good book to reference as well from an operational standpoint. But we'll go ahead and close out. I want to thank our listeners for joining us.